It's human nature to get excited when something new happens, but over time you start getting bored by that same thing that once made you happy. In science, it is called the brain reward system and dopamine. Hello, I'm Tolu Akirele, and today we'll be discussing how to handle relocation depression.
Something good gonna happen in this year.
I want to say a big thank you to my returning subscribers and to my new subscribers. Thank you for stopping by. On this channel, we talk about everything beautiful around fashion, family, lifestyle, and travel. I'm sure you're going to learn one or two. Kindly ensure you hit the subscribe button. You're amazing. Thank you.
It's okay not to be okay. It's okay if you feel the pain. Don't gotta wipe your tears.
Now let me take you down memory lane. When you got that email that told you your visa was ready, how did you feel? Some people shouted, some people danced, some people screamed, and the excitement, I might not be able to tell it, but what I did, I was dancing, I was happy, I was excited that, oh, finally, because before then I was always checking my email. So when I saw the email, I was excited. Yeah, I can relate. So what is going on now? I heard you are depressed. That's human nature for you. So it's not your fault. I talked about the brain reward system and dopamine. So this is how it works. The region of the brain that comprises the neurons that has the reward system uses neurotransmitters known as dopamine to function. So these neurotransmitters function in terms of motivation and depression based on the signal of dopamine released. If the dopamine signal released is high, you are going to be motivated, but if it's low, you tend to be depressed. So when you got that email, you were excited, the dopamine signal was high, it's normal, but based on the experiences you are now facing now, like the way you plan things are not actually what you're seeing, so the dopamine signal is getting low. So that's why you are in that depression mode. It's fine. But today we are going to be discussing how to handle that depression so that your dopamine signal can be high again and you'll be motivated and you stay motivated, because you are going to be intentional to ensure that you take note of these tips and you practice it such that you keep staying high, you keep staying motivated. When it wants to come, you dodge it and you are always fine, right? So let's go.
Something good gonna happen in this year.
One tip to handling depression relocation is practicing gratitude. Like, this is like underrated, but it's a lot. It has a lot of power inherent in it. Do you know how many people want to be in your shoes? Do you know how many people who would want to just like jackpot, like want to like want to be in your shoe, want to have the opportunity to jackpot like you jackpot. And you are here, you are allowing your dopamine level to be going high and low like that. You have to be intentional in practicing gratitude, because there are many people who want to be in your position, who wish to have an opportunity to travel out of their country, to see things, to know things, to just leave their environment like where they've been used to. So don't give in to that depression. When you feel that mood, like that signal is like, oh yeah, go low, you start practicing gratitude, start looking back. You can be intentional, like looking back at when you started, when you were in school, like how many people graduated, like when you get admission, how many people wrote the exam but didn't pass, how you passed and moved to the next level. Like, just be intentional in thinking about those things and practice gratitude for every stage of your life that has worked. Because you kept trying things and it didn't work, you will not be in the position where you are today. You see that by the time you start doing this, by the time you start ruminating on these things, by the time you start thinking on these things or talking about these things, you can be saying it, Lord, I thank you. I went to primary school, I passed, I moved to secondary, I passed, I moved to tertiary institution, I passed, I'm doing my masters, I passed. Start saying those things. You see that bit by bit your dopamine level, like, to be receiving the signal. Oh yeah, motivation. That's sounds on the lighter side, but that's how it really works. That's the way human nature works. So you need to be intentional in practicing gratitude. Gratitude has a lot of power inherent in it. Everything in your body start responding to it. Your emotion, everything will start responding to it, and before you know, you would leave that depression mode and be grateful.
Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful.
So the next tip is for you to seek information on what is bothering you. What is making you depressed? What is that thing that when you think of, your dopamine level will just go down? What is that thing? Seek information about it, because our dopamine signal can also be regulated by knowledge. When you gain knowledge about something, it's also connected to your emotion, and it can help you stay motivated, or the other way. So you need to gain knowledge on what is bothering you. Are you bothered? Are you depressed because you don't longer have helping hands like you used to have back then in your own country? Are you depressed because you are not getting a job? Like, you felt it would be so easy to get a job, but right now it's looking like everybody is just against you. You need to seek information. What are the things that you need to know to ensure that those things are solved? Is it a job? Do you need to meet somebody? Do you need to research online? Do you need to gain more skill? You need to gain knowledge on those things. Like, leave your comfort zone and be intentional in gaining knowledge about those things, and you will see that in a moment your dopamine level will just go up. You are motivated again, and when it wants to return again, you can bank on the wealth of knowledge you've gotten as regards that thing. Sometimes depression is as a result of ignorance. If you open your mind to knowledgeable things, you will stay motivated. Yeah.
I'm grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here.
Another tip to handling relocation depression is that you have to be open to learn new things. Things are not going to be the way it used to be back there in your own country. You are in a new country, so you have to be open to learn new things. It doesn't matter what you are used to, where you are. You might need to leave what you are used to learn new things. Personally, in back there in my own country, I used to be a fashion designer, and I detest alteration. Like, if any client comes to me and you tell me you want to alterate, you want to do this, I'm like, it's a whole lot of stress for me. I prefer doing a garment from scratch and completing it than for me to alter it. But yeah, I got to see that their fashion industry, there's no how you will thrive if you don't do alteration, because most people buy clothes maybe online, and maybe the clothes are oversized and all, and they need a tailor to alterate it. So if I say I'm not going to alterate, if I say I detest alteration, how will I get more cash? So as much as I detested alteration, I needed to be open to it, because that's what works here, right? So you need to go out of your comfort zone, be open to new things. Don't say this is what I'm used to. If you're open to new things, you get new opportunities, you get new offer that has the potency to increase your dopamine signal and make you stay motivated.
I'm missing money gonna find me.
And to the final tip that I'm going to be giving on this video to help you undo relocation depression is that learn to stay hopeful. Like, no great thing started great. Every great thing started small. What is that picture that you have for yourself in the next 5 years? Like, 5 years can be long. Like, in the next 2 years, in the next 1 year, write it down and be hopeful. You are new in this country. It doesn't matter if you've spent 3 years, if you spent 10 years. The number of years you spent in your own country, that's if you were not born there. The number of years you spent in your own country would, in a way, outweigh where you are now. So be hopeful. Don't use your current situation to judge how it will continue to be, right? Put it down. This is what I want to have achieved by this time. Write it in a paper. Make it plain, and God will bring it to pass. You understand? So please stay hopeful. Don't give in to depression. Don't give in to your dopamine signal. You have the power to control your dopamine signal via what you digest, via what you do, via what you take in. So be hopeful and work towards it. Don't just be idle about it. Work towards it, and you will see that everything will start falling in place. relocation depression is real and you mustn't give in to it, because if you give in to it, you end up frustrating the reason why you are here in the first place. So why did you rejoice when you got the email? It means every other thing that you're happy about today can actually make you so sad later and you will not be able to control it. No, that shouldn't be your life. Something that gives you joy now can continue to give you joy regardless of what keeps coming your way. You can be intentional in making it give you joy, because the way you handle this also determines the way you handle other things. If you don't know how to handle relocation depression, it means that if perhaps, like for example, you get married, you're excited about your marriage, it means that later, if your dopamine level cannot be controlled via what you take in and everything, it means that later you can actually be sad about that marriage that gave you joy, which is actually not good for you. So you need to be sure that what is making you happy today is able to make you happy in the next 2 years, in the next 4 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, in the next 100 years, because you are intentional about your life, because you are intentional about the steps you take. So as little as this relocation depression might be, if you don't sort it, if you don't take active step in handling it, it can affect any aspect of your life, because your dopamine level will just be rising and falling, rising and falling. One thing I also like us to pay attention to is that most times relocation depression don't come as that depression that we know it to be. It can come as that harmless mood swing that you feel and you're just feeling sad about something. You are feeling sad that you didn't get the job and you are crying, and you don't take active step to see how next time you would get better at getting a job. If you leave it not attended to, it can grow. Depression don't start as depression, it starts as something small. Yeah, so I hope you learned a lot from this video. Yeah, if you'll be relocating soon, relocation depression is real, so you have to ensure you take charge of your dopamine signal, take charge of your dopamine level. Yes, take charge. Ensure to tell yourself that I'm happy about this news now. When I get to that country where I'm going to, no matter what comes my way, I will stay happy, I will stay rejoicing regardless of what comes my way. Thank you very much for staying tuned up until now. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are doing a lot in ensuring that I keep showing up. Like it's a lot. So catch you guys in my next video. Thank you for staying tuned. Bye.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here.